welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back.
I'm JG.
Ben.
And we're back again to discuss all the recent tennis events. We've had the ATP Cup, Serbia winning that. We've had ATP Doha. We've had Rublev winning that. We've had problems with the ATP Cup. Other players who aren't involved, unhappy.
The women's. Serena Williams. WTA
winning.
Auckland.
Thank you, Ben. Almost forgot. Yeah, it's been an incredible week, so stay tuned and listen to the podcast. So today, obviously, we've got a lot to talk about because there's been a lot of tennis played.
Agreed.
So we've seen the end of the ATP Cup. We've seen that Serbia won.
Yeah.
It was quite a good result, I guess, for them.
Epic match between Djokovic and Nadal.
Yeah, first of 2020. Wow, the big two playing against each other. And honestly, what a match it was! Like, I really enjoyed it. I watched a lot of the match. I think it was very evenly matched, although people were saying about how Djokovic was so dominant. The first set he was pretty dominant, but Nadal definitely got his way back into it.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for his a few unforced errors, I thought he really did stand a chance in taking it to 3 sets. And then from there, it's a bit of a lottery.
Testament to Djokovic's recovery skills on the tennis court. I think that.
Yeah.
He just was able to get everything back, and Rafa was just making slight unforced error at the end of long rallies.
Yeah, Djokovic looking good this year. He's played 7 games, I think, and singles, and he's won all 7. So
I think
not bad. I guess they're quite worthy winners, to be honest.
That's it. Despite his haters, I think he's going to come out firing this season, just because last season wasn't really the best for him.
Yeah, and not just that. Do you know he's won? I think it's 9 consecutive sets against Nadal on hard.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean,
which is ridiculous.
I was backing him yesterday. I heard a statistic: Nadal hadn't beaten him since 2013.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I didn't know that.
That was easy money on the betting in the betting world.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant game, but let's not read too much into the result. It's the beginning of the season. It's not exactly a slam. This is a new tournament, and I just feel like Rafa, when he gets into his groove this year in the slams, I think he could come out on top more than Djokovic this year. But that's just maybe me talking from more love than anything.
I personally think Djokovic has really motivated himself, and he's going to be the one to beat this year.
Yeah, quite easily.
I think his main challenger will be Rafa, but I think Djokovic, he's the more fresher, the one who gets injured less out of the two of them.
I think he's still prone to an injury, though.
I don't think Federer's gonna challenge as much.
The thing is with Federer,
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
He always does. That's the thing. He always does. You can never write him off until he retires. You can never write him off because you know he's going to appear in a final. He's going to make it to a Wimbledon final. He's going to do something. I'm not sure which one. Even Australian Open, he's not got the worst history with that.
I think that he can do it, but I think it requires somebody else knocking out Djokovic for him.
Really? What about if he doesn't get to Djokovic till the final?
Well, that's it.
I know he will now because he's 3rd seed. That's the thing. So because of his seeding,
I don't know, but then even if he comes up against Medvedev, I think Medvedev beats Federer these days.
Yeah, to be fair, I can't really disagree with that.
And
he's
good,
isn't
maybe
he?
as well.
Yeah.
So
maybe the ADM resurgence. He could even do it.
Possible, but we've seen he's human this week as well. He lost to Evans, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he lost to Rafa as well.
Yeah. So anyway, on the topic of the ATP Cup, what did you actually make of it? 'Cause it was his first year running.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Did you?
I actually thought it was a decent...
Do you think it's a step up to the Davis Cup?
Yeah, I think it's better than Davis Cup. I think Davis Cup gets a lot of stick just because, I don't know, it's just something people are doing in the off-season, really. But it's like an in-between. It's like when, say, football
It doesn't seem as competitive to me,
It's
does
like
it?
a friendly match when England play.
Exactly, yeah. Get to San Marino or something.
That's why I guess in football they brought in that UEFA League as well.
Yeah, no. I
Similar.
think it's good that they're doing stuff like that, but obviously, as you know, it's got a lot of criticism, the ATP Cup, more from the players rather than the fans. I think the fans really have taken to the whole thing. More tennis, it's competitive. You've got the best 2 players from each nation. The quality of tennis was pretty exceptional.
There's a lot of players dropping out, though, I saw.
It was only the Swiss team.
Was it? I thought that it was the odd player for me. Obviously, they have to have a standby, like in the Davis Cup, but
Berrettini dropped out for injury, which was unfortunate.
That was part of me thinking that people are dropping out because the Australian Open's like in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, but
don't
what
want
better,
unnecessary injuries.
I don't know. I disagree because you've got to play before the Australian. I think this would have been the best opportunity for any top player to play just before the Australian Open because it's a great atmosphere. The quality of tennis is good. The whole organisation of the tournament was run well.
I think it came at the right time because of the atrocities that are happening in Australia as well. I think it's brought everybody together at the right time.
Yeah, no, it's been nice. But more importantly, I feel sorry for the players who didn't make the cut. So have you seen all the Rublev,
I mean, well,
Tsonga, all the criticism they've said? They, quote unquote, they literally feel like they're in no man's land at the moment because at the end of the day, they're top 20 player, Rublev, but because he's got Karen Khachanov and who's the other Russian? Medvedev in front of him, he's unable to compete in the tournament.
And look what happened. He goes and wins in Doha in the other ATP tournament.
Yeah, but then his prize money is less. His ranking points are less. It's not. Come on, it's not. He's unhappy about it, and rightly so.
I don't blame him. I think it's somebody at the top has to answer for it.
It's going to have to change because at the end of the day, they're getting an extra tournament towards their ranking points. And it's just not right. Like, you can't have that amount. Basically, you're giving all an advantage to all the top 20 players. Not just that, you've got other countries like with not so great players. I think who's the one for Albot plays for Macedonia, Moldova. With him, he's got his partner, or whatever, playing in his team. Like some of his other team members, like 800th in the world, and Moldova. They're getting ridiculous amounts of points playing good guys, even if they're taking a few games off him or whatever. And it's just like it doesn't seem fair to me. And this really isn't fair on all the top players because it's their career at the end of the day. And if they're going to lose out on ranking points, which then's going to lead for the Australian Open coming up, they're going to be a lower seed, which then they're going to get a higher draw and less money. It's their jobs. It's not a joke. But
then if you look at a player like, let's say, Tsitsipas, where did he finish in this cup?
Well,
where did Greece come? Did they?
But they had Pervalikis or whatever, and he wasn't exactly cutting it.
Tsitsipas was in there. He's higher ranked than Rublev, yet Rublev won an ATP event instead of being in it.
Yeah, that's true.
So he sort of benefited, whereas Tsitsipas didn't benefit at all. He, if anything, it was a negative. He was like flying the flag on his own for his country.
Yeah, it's a good point. I see what you're saying. But I just still don't think it's fair for, say, like the likes of these third players who are like top 40, top 50, like the Tsongas, like the Rublevs. For that type of calibre of player, it's not fair. You've got to be honest, it's not. Mate, you know me, I'm not exactly Mr. Rublev fan. I'm not a massive admirer of him himself.
He's a very good player, but
he's a very good player, but there's just something not really quite right with his a character. Like he comes across sometimes humble in interviews, but I just don't buy it. I feel like there's a fake persona behind him, and he's like acting this nice guy.
Just saying that because he's Russian.
No, not at all.
Is it his haircut? Because I know you were quite keen on Team's haircut last week.
Mate, I feel like he
couldn't be any more different.
He could do with a haircut. Not gonna lie. He could do with a nice haircut. It's always all stuck to his head, all sweated up.
So you reckon that's why he wants to get into the other tournament, is so he can afford a better haircut?
Mate, he's got a lot more money than us, and these silly mites. We'd have a nice system.
This is a good new setup, I think. Like we've got 2 mic stands this week.
Yeah, saves you holding it. I thought you was going to start singing last week.
I was just taking...
Break into chorus.
That's it. I'd be like the new Peter Crouch.
Gosh.
So if we move away from the ATP Cup...
Yeah.
What else do we...
Well, Doha, we mentioned that. Rublev won that. That's the first ATP tournament aside from the ATP Cup.
Yeah.
That was quite cool. Brilliant victory against... Who did he play in the final? He played Corentin Moutet. The French guy, 21 or whatever, very young. Up and coming, he literally beat a few top players on the way. It goes to
show how good Rublev is, because Moutet knocked out some good players on his way to get to the final.
Yeah, no, Moutet's a really top player. Like, he's going to be no mug. In fact, I fancy him to do quite well actually in the Australian Open.
Yeah.
He's obviously not going to get that far, but I just think he's going to have a nice. If he can go deep into the tournament, I think he's had a really successful one. He's got all the attributes to do it. So.
Do you think he'll be the French player that gets the furthest?
Good question. Who else is there? You got Tsonga. Benoit Paire.
Hey.
No.
No.
So I don't think he will get the furthest.
Be interesting to see Mutet, what his rank.
No, because I think Pair, like, he's got all the... Pair's a better player than him at the end of the day, and he's experienced.
And he did just have a... Well, I predicted yesterday that I had beat Yannick Sinner. Yeah, 3 sets, but Pair, strong. Yeah. Looking good, like, coming into Australian Open, I think.
No, he is looking really strong. It'd be interesting to see what happens. We've got all the qualifiers coming up tomorrow.
And this
there's a lot of games there, and it's really now sort of cracking down for the Australian Open to see
the countdown.
Yeah, the countdown's on.
7 days.
The countdown is on. So, what are you thinking for that? Are you excited for it?
Yeah. Not been as excited for a tournament in so many years. Obviously, mainly because of the pod.
You just want to chat shit to all our amazing fans.
That's it. We get to hear what everybody else gets to think of our views, and we get to put our views out into the world.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who would you say is your pick for the tournament?
Although saying everything I've said, I think you can't really overlook Djokovic based on the form he's been in so far.
I agree.
However, my heart does not want him to win. So on that basis, I would love to see Nadal go all the way and win it.
Yeah.
And set him in brilliant stead, the world number 1, to then go into the French Open full of confidence.
I don't think he ever is lacking in confidence.
No, but
going into
he's not lacking confidence. But I just want to see him just dominate this year. But obviously, I don't think it's possible. This is more my heart. Ideally, what do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be.
Well, look at the final of the last hard court.
I think Djokovic is going to beat Nadal. To be honest.
But that's if he meets him.
If he meets him. If he don't, I think.
Look what happened. Djokovic lost to Medvedev last time.
It could even be Medvedev now gets his revenge on Nadal. In a semi-final.
He's got 5 sets in the last final. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was what the US Open.
Surely
went to the final. The
levels are going to eventually balance themselves out.
You would think so. And Medvedev's going to understand his game more and more every time he's playing. He's not had the same experience as what Federer, and they've all played each other so many times. They know each other's game inside out.
Yep.
With him, he's not had that experience. So when he gets that, hopefully you'd sort of kind of see him sort of working his way and sort of understanding how to beat other players. And when he gets to that stage, he's got all the ability. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets to a final. Maybe he could. Honestly, it's going to be really exciting. I reckon my head will say it's going to be a Medvedev-Djokovic final, and Djokovic beats him. My heart says Nadal's going to get to the final, and I'm not sure who's going to be.
If you're a betting man, though.
If I was a betting man, I'd put £10 on Nadal to win.
Wow.
Because I bet with my heart, not with my head. That's why I lose money. But.
So, viewers.
Don't follow my tips, ever.
Yeah, only the well-researched ones back those. I would have to say I reckon Djokovic is going to take it. I think he's probably going to plough to the final. I reckon he'll maximum drop 1 set on the way to the final, and he'll probably more than likely meet Nadal in the final. And then I think Djokovic.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if they can because.
If he's number 2, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're 1 and 2. Yeah,
it just depends, but I reckon if he doesn't meet if he doesn't meet Nadal in the final, then who else is going to? Because he'll have probably, if it's Medvedev, that would be probably for me a better final.
What about the likes of Tsitsipas and Thiem? I feel like we can't really overlook them.
Yeah.
On their day, they can beat these guys as well.
I know it's easy to overlook them. I
think it's really, really exciting. I don't know if it's because I'm really invested this year, but I am super excited. I think it's going to be really open. It's going to be a top tournament.
Good to see the levels finally like becoming a little bit even between like the gap between the top 3 and everybody else is now finally like evening out. And I just makes it so much more exciting. Every match, you don't know if Djokovic is actually going to beat someone this time, or if. Like you say, come up against Medvedev, he might lose.
My only massive concern about this whole tournament is the fact that it's going to be so late and I can't watch it. So literally I'm going to be coming into work watching the highlights, or I'm probably going to be an idiot and staying up watching games but I probably shouldn't be watching. So I'm literally knackered. We're going to get a lot of good content out there. So
yeah, we'll try and get a lot of stuff, try and review a few of the games or some of the best picks of each of the weeks. but we'll definitely be having the same weekly one. Oh yeah, I didn't give my selection. If it's not Djokovic, let's give an outsider pick for the tournament.
Is Medvedev an outsider?
No, I would say if you had to pick
he's an outsider, mate. He's never won a slam.
If you had to pick somebody outside the top 10 to make the
fight,
fight,
that's a good question. But you've just thrown it on me, so you have to give me a second to think.
Yeah, take us.
What would you go for? Do you know?
Say outside the top 10. Is Stan outside the top 10?
He's old. Yeah, he's maybe not. I'm not sure.
Let me bring up the.
If you get the leaderboard, I'll be able to tell you maybe.
I'll bring up the rankings for you. Outside the top 10, you got Goffin, you got Schwartzman, Shapovalov, Wawrinka, Nishikori, Karen Khachanov, Alex de Minaur, Grigor Dimitrov.
I've seen enough already. The Canadian, Shapovalov. He is my outside pick.
That's a
hands down.
Very good outside pick.
Yeah, his backhand's just incredible. I love his style of play. He's been beating some good players recently. Come close against Djokovic, took a set of him in the ATP Cup. If a bit more luck on his side, could have done it. He was a bit missing really. He couldn't really compete with Djokovic. I must admit, there was something. Djokovic has that extra level on him.
Yeah,
a few extra levels, but you never know. As an outside pick, if he really gets up for it, as a really top game, plays at his 100%, and someone's not quite there, I fancy him to do well.
It's nice to see that you're backing a bit of young talent there.
Oh, I love Shapovalov.
Yeah, well, he's got that good backhand, but it's another player overlooking on home turf. If he can pull out all the stops, Nick Kyrgios wins the Australian Open. He serves a record number of aces in the tournament,
mate,
earning a record number of amount for charity.
Listen, if he does that, we'll come on here both in our underwear. We'll host it in our underwear with an Australian beer.
That's one way to lose subscribers. Better get down the gym, mate.
I'll have an Australian flag wrapped around me.
Wow.
And you can wear your Australian pants.
Right, it's on.
So that just shows how optimistic I am about Kyrgios with it. It's not happening.
I'm not so keen for him to win anymore.
No, I'd still love him to win because that would just be ridiculous. Imagine what the crowd would be like. Imagine what he would be after he's won a slam.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He would just be honestly, that'd be incredible.
Well, imagine what it'd just do for Australia. I think he's my standout player of the ATP Cup for sure, because we've just seen another side to Nick Kyrgios. We saw the one side everyone knew already, just showman, incredible player, probably the most gifted, I'd say, outside the top. Yeah, well, definitely outside the top 10.
In natural ability, 100%.
He's got the height, he's
probably one of the most naturally gifted players there are.
Yeah, if he just applied himself a little bit more, you can see.
Is it not getting boring though, this story? Continuously talking about Kyrgios applying himself. There's only so much you can say that, and then if he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. And it's got to be a point where I love him. I think he's amazing. His natural ability is incredible. I would literally love to go for a pint with him. But if we're talking about him winning major tournaments, is he ever going to do it? Because he doesn't have that.
I think he's got one in him.
It's a mentality. He doesn't have that.
But I think he's got one in him. Just one.
He doesn't even like tennis. He hates tennis.
Doesn't matter. I think if it was just to prove someone wrong, he would just try and do it. Well, it maybe Nadal, maybe Djokovic, maybe just a stupid reporter that just wants to try and prove.
Or maybe just some idiot on the podcast telling him he's never going to win.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think he's got the most ability, most power out of outside the top 10. He can do it, and you've seen his performances against some top players in the ATP Cup. He can beat great players. And then you saw in his last match though, the smallest little thing can set him off. That's the let machine that nobody heard.
I didn't see that, but you showed me.
Yeah, the let machine that nobody heard as a let there when he served an ace. Yeah, and then the umpire calls it as a let, and I'm not sure really what do you make of that. Obviously, that put him off. He served again. He got broken. Then he lost the set. He smashed up his racket.
Yeah, I think it's a bit unfortunate.
Just done. I think like you said, he has a lapse in concentration, or he has something that changes his whole match.
And that's what you see. The top players, they block that out, and that's the difference, really.
Yeah, I think that's the
It's
problem.
all in your head. Tennis. It's so much.
The question is, can he get through a tournament without anything like pissing him off?
Or does he have enough rackets to go for it?
I
Will he run out of rackets in the Australian Open?
I bet the guy who makes
We'll save that for another podcast.
The guy who makes his rackets is probably making a fortune. Anyway, let's move away from Nick Kyrgios.
Let's talk about some women.
Yeah,
You can't go any further than Serena Williams. You see what she's done?
What did she do?
She won.
I know, she won another ATP. I thought you were talking outside the tennis.
Oh, no. She won again.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
When will she stop winning? That's the big question. Like, how old is Serena now?
I feel like you're going to shock me, yeah.
Isn't it? 38.
38, wow.
Wow. Still doing it.
Yeah. She is the face of the sport. She's so important for tennis, you know. She literally keeps people watching. Like, she just has that. She has that wow factor about her game where people will always follow what she does because she is that good, and she's been such a great competitor. She's an ambassador for the sport. She's been such a great competitor throughout her life that people are always invested in what she does. And it is incredible. She's created it's a testament to her character, and she's created an amazing legacy for herself in the game of tennis.
That's it.
And it'd be nice to see when one day a little kid becomes another tennis player. I'm not sure I don't know her name, but you never know. The Williams name could still run.
Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me if her kid becomes a future champ one day as well.
Let's have a look. See if our child is actually playing tennis.
She's just given birth.
Born with a racket in the hand. She's just given birth. What? The week before she started playing this tournament?
But the kid must only be about 3 years old. I doubt he's playing tennis yet. It might be. I don't know.
That's what she gave birth, and she won an ATP event in the same week. That is Serena.
What a decade.
What a week. What a decade. We're not going back on this decade talk again. Serena's daughter, Olympia, is learning to play tennis already.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
She's
probably got a better serve than me already.
Probably.
She's definitely got the genes, that's for sure.
Oh, that wasn't a very good. Looks like she's really picking up the game. Just chucks the racket on the floor. She's gone for another one. She's another Nick Kyrgios.
Oh.
She's using the wrong end of the racket. Yeah, maybe she's got a little bit of a way to go.
Nah, but honestly, it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Serving pints.
Welcome to Serving Pints. Would you want to go for a pint with Andrei Rublev? I know it's random, but answer the best way you can.
I can't see Rublev as much of a drinker. I don't see him going for a pint unless it be a pint of vodka or something. Maybe it's because he's Russian. Maybe it. No,
but just don't look at the fact. Don't focus too much on the fact that you're going to be drinking alcohol. Say if it was a pint of you're socialising with this person.
I get more the impression that he'd be the type of guy that would stare into his drink, and he wouldn't be much chat.
I feel like he'd be very deep in thought as well.
It'd be a very dry conversation.
I think he would be very focused. He'd be literally, like you say, very much thinking about things. You wouldn't really get much out of him. It'd literally be like, you'd have to keep digging him with a stick to try and get him to talk. Yeah, and then when he does talk, I don't feel like it'd be the most jolly of conversation.
You're going to be giving him tennis tips.
No. I feel like he'd kill me.
After seeing his latest warm-up regime of hitting his forehand, hits about 10 forehands in about 3 seconds, all pinpoint accurate. Gosh. Yeah, he seems like a very serious character.
Oh yeah, for sure. But look where he's got from doing that, so can't really knock it.
But what type of place do you reckon that you'd be drinking with someone like Rublev?
Where would Rublev take me? I feel like you wouldn't even be able to get him out the club. We'd probably be in the clubhouse, a little corner of the clubhouse.
In a club, I think we meant an actual club, a clubhouse.
No, in the tennis clubhouse. We wouldn't be able to get him off because we'd be going training afterwards. He'd have a pint of water on the side. We'd have the pint. He'd be so focused. He'd be thinking about what's happening next in his training regime. We'd have very little conversation. The conversation would be quite dry.
Would he have a translator there, or would there be a?
No, he can speak English.
Can he speak? Okay.
Yeah, he can speak English.
Would he have his coach there, or his nutritionist?
Mate, it might be better. I might have more conversation with him. But no, as you can see, I'm not really very fond of the idea of going for a pint with Rublev. So for me, if I had to be honest, I'd probably give it maybe, I don't know,
3 out of 10.
I'd give it 3 purely because of the fact that he's a really top player, and I would like to talk about his game a bit.
What do you reckon would be his...
in terms of like banter, I feel like it would be very minimal. In fact, none.
If you had to give him a drink of choice, what would you give Rublev?
I'd give him a sparkling water. Because I feel like he would literally drink it.
Not even any.
Just sparkling water doesn't have that like nice taste. Like the aftertaste isn't nice. I feel like he would just like drink it and would love the aftertaste.
For me, I think he would just have like a straight vodka, bang, just done. That's it, and then just stare into space.
And then walk off and make you pay. Like, I feel intimidated if I went for a pint with Rublev.
Yeah, he might know Putin.
Because as we've just seen a tournament which is based on nations, and Great Britain didn't do it. Wasn't the worst effort in the world. I feel like we've done worse in recent years.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not the worst.
No
in
Murray
the world.
either.
No Murray as well, and no Kyle Edmund. He's another one who was upset about the whole ATP Cup missing out because he's the 3rd seed as well.
Who replaced him?
Norrie and
Glasspool.
No, Glasspool's not quite there yet. I think it's Norrie and Evans, right?
Was it what's his face? James Ward, wasn't
No.
it? He used to get in the team when Murray was in it.
Really?
Yeah, it used to be Murray and Ward. It used to be a formidable doubles pairing.
No wonder we never won. But now the future of English tennis, I think, is quite exciting.
I think so as well.
For me, the one player we're not mentioning who could have a big future in tennis, Draper.
Yeah, that's one name that hasn't come up yet. Yeah, Jack Draper.
Jack Draper. He had a really
Promising.
good bane of form last year. Ended it a bit weak, to be honest, but he had some really top results. He's playing tomorrow. He's going to win.
Oh, Istomin.
Yeah, against Dennis Istomin.
Wow.
I think I fancy him beating Istomin.
Just beat a guy 320 in the world, Chung, 2-love.
Yeah.
Took Elias Weimer to 3 sets.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Really impressive. And obviously, I think there you can see the end of the year not the best. A few losses in there. But if you scroll down, you can see the amount of wins he actually had last year in succession. It was very impressive.
Sock, which was, incredible.
Yeah, look at these.
Look at that. Look, so much green.
So I think
it
maybe
ITF,
talking about we're talking about British hopefuls. I think he's one to watch, and it'd be really interesting to see how he progresses this year. This year is for him at the moment. He's what? Where is he in the ranking at the moment?
At the moment, 334 now.
Better than that's impressive. Yeah, I guess all them wins in a row.
Yep.
18 years old, 334 in the world. I can see him being maybe challenging for the top. He should be within the top 200 by the end of the year if he can really progress, do like that, and then from there he can kick on, and maybe he might even get a chance one day to represent Great Britain.
I think he's got the height, hasn't he? He's got that.
He's got the game.
Good frame.
He's definitely got the game to do it. It just depends, like you say, how is he going to progress mentally? Is he going to be there?
Is he 6'7", is he, or 6'5"?
Oh, I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah, he's a very, very tall guy. So his serve, obviously, very good, but he has the game to back it up. Like he has actually got very good ground shots. So.
Oh yeah, one to watch for sure. And in the women's game, one I like to keep my eye on is Samantha Murray.
So Samantha Murray, how old is she? She's 30 though. She's new in the ranks, is she? 30 years old.
I don't know too much about her. I just know that she had quite a good year last year.
We've obviously got Joanna Konta.
Joanna,
isn't it?
Joanna.
Hannah.
Why are you calling her Joanna? You've been watching. That's Moana. That's a Disney film.
I've been watching too much.
Too much kids TV.
UFC.
It's a fighter.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who is a Polish UFC fighter. Heather Watson, we have.
No chance. Done and dusted. No time for her on the podcast. Let's see the British hopefuls.
God, they're terrible. So
where's their ranking?
Maybe one to watch: Maya Lumsden, Katie Swan.
We are missing that, but there's definitely a void in the fact that there's not really many British hopefuls coming through for the women's side. You've got Katie Swan, she's not bad, she's a good player. I've seen her play against some good players, and she's held her own sometimes, but I don't think she's got that. She's not quite there. It'd be interesting to see how she progresses, but aside from that, it's very difficult.
Yeah, there's not many, is there?
There's not many really breaking through. So we've really got all of our hope in Joanna Konta, I guess.
Yeah. Heather Watson, not quite.
She's had the chances before in her career,
She had
but
that
she never
one match
really
against Serena.
Yeah, she never really lived up to it. She's always had good spells, but she never really manages to cross the line in any big things. Which is a bit sad, but we'll see how it goes. We've got Jack Draper anyway in the men, so
Yeah.
and obviously we've got all the Cameron. We've got Norrie.
Yep.
Evans, Edmund. Yeah, there's a few hopefuls.
Yeah, not bad. It's better. British
Murray's
tennis.
coming back.
Is he though?
Murray to win a slam in 2020.
Yeah, what's the odds on that?
Probably 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Nah, it won't be that. It'll probably be less than that. It'll probably be
Had
about.
somebody say to me,
It'll be about 200 to 1 or something.
Somebody said to me the other day, put a dead cert bet on if Murray not to win a slam in 2020.
He said it's better interest than a savings account because you can put 10 grand on it.
Put 10 grand on and you can get back about 1,500 quid.
Yeah. Not bad. Good savings.
He won an ATP event last year.
Yeah, it'll literally be the time I put all my life savings on this guy. He's gonna end up winning and just shocking me, and then I lose everything.
Never rule out. Never rule out Murray.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah, don't forget to like the video
and subscribe.
Leave us some comments if you want to ask us any questions that you want us to discuss.
Tell me what you think of this little combo here.
Yeah,
we're very keen to know.
Or this haircut. And make sure you subscribe.
Peace.